Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host of this show, Jonathan Clarke, the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast, which I have never felt more honored to be the host of, to discuss all things Descendants and Zombies related with the fans of Descendants and Zombies who have deserved far better reviews of the franchises they've known, they've loved, and they've grown up with for a very long time. And I couldn't be more honored to offer you the videos that you guys have been wanting to watch for a very long time. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to think about doing that, because I have a lot to say where this conversation goes, because this story is far from over, because it doesn't have to be. The critics want it to be over, but I, as a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and we as fans of Descendants and Zombies, have never wanted to think about this story being over, because it is far from over, because one should believe that happily ever after does exist. One should believe they have a chance of forever existing and happening for them. One should believe they can find true love, no matter how long it takes them, because everybody has a light. It's just a matter of how and when they find that individual light, because everybody has one, ladies and gentlemen, and it's about time you start believing in that. So I think if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you probably should think about doing that, because I promise you I will never let you down, nor will I ever go away, because I was the biggest fan in the world of Clarke. I must say she touched my heart in so many unbelievable ways through her ability to sing any song. There are very few Disney stars that can sing anything and bring anything to life, but Clarke is somebody who can really sing anything and bring everything to life. I remember when Goodie Bag was filmed and See You Tonight were filmed, and they were powerful music videos that really put Clarke on a pedestal that she was more deserving of ever being on. And I gave her all the praise in the world for her music videos, because the collaboration was truly remarkable. This girl had come such a long way in such a short amount of time. And here's the thing about Clarke, she's just figuring out her place in the world. She doesn't know everything. I mean, what do you know at 20 years old? When I think about it, I was 20 years old in 2006. That would have been the year Malia Baker was born, I think, December 18th, 2006. Her birthday is coming up in a couple of months. I will be celebrating that for you guys. So if you have not subscribed, you're probably going to want to think about doing that. 2006 was a great year, because in 2006 we were just coming out of the turn of the millennium, and I think that, popular people like Britney Spears, Eminem were kind of coming into their own. They had established themselves as some of the greatest of all time in the music industry, so it was a very difficult time to really promote yourself and put yourself out there, because you had so many superstars within the industry. Take it from a guy who saw so many people crash and burn trying to do the same thing. But Clarke eventually burst onto the scene after the age of 9 years old. She expressed a desire to want to be in franchises like Descendants and High School Musical, because she was a huge fan of it, and she used to go on YouTube posting all these videos wanting to sing and dance just like her friends. And her family, I remember her family being so supportive of her. And that's why I have all these issues with how people feel about Clarke, mostly the critics. And, I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, but I think that critics pretty much have just really chosen to never give Clarke the benefit of the doubt and really back off. Can we please give Clarke more of a chance? Because I have seen so many videos posted of Clarke on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram where she's crying, because she just wants to find her place in the world, and she wants people to be appreciative of what she's trying to offer to them. She's trying to offer inspiration. She's trying to offer advice. And I know a lot of people really don't have any business offering each other advice, but I think sometimes when you hear it from Clarke, when you hear it from Dove Cameron, it inspires people and it touches people's hearts. I've watched a lot of meet and greets from Clarke and Dove Cameron over the years, and I must say that I'm really impressed by how they receive fans and they respond to them. Because a lot of celebrities don't go out of their way to connect with their fans as much as what Dove Cameron and Clarke have over the last decade, which has made it an unforgettable decade and a time to be a fan of Disney. I really wish that I could have grown up a fan of Disney in this generation, apart from the generation that I grew up in, because the generation that I grew up in was at the turn of the millennium when Disney was just focusing on original animation. So you had shows like Kim Possible and Recess and Bonkers and Goof Troop. It was all about animation and Disney tunes, because you get home from school, get off the school bus, throw your book bag down, say, I'm not doing homework, screw it, I'm watching Disney Channel, and you probably watch Disney Channel for 4 or 5 hours wanting to see live action TV shows, and it wasn't until the turn of the millennium and they moved into 2005, 2006 and started shooting live action TV shows like Hannah Montana and Wizards. I found that Miley and Selena were there to promote their shows and there for their fans, but never before have a group of cast members been there for their fans as much as Descendants and Zombies have, and been so inspirational. And that's what I give them so much credit for. Because while you can choose to criticize a franchise, you're choosing to criticize a franchise that you really don't know anything about. And I think more of an opportunity and more of a chance needs to be taken on these franchises. I wish I could have grown up as a fan of Descendants. I'm talking in the age demographic of probably 7 years old. Because I can only imagine, I think about you guys all the time and being fans of Descendants and Zombies and how captivated you must be about these fairy tale characters really bringing this franchise to life. Because it takes a certain kind of individual to bring a character to life that have no backstories whatsoever. I mean, the reality of these characters are they have no backstories whatsoever. So it takes a tremendous amount of heart and dedication and how much you yourself believe in the character that you've donned. So to bring a character like Red to life, the Queen of Hearts' daughter, I think it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of perseverance, and I think the exemplification of that couldn't be more true and more apparent than with Clarke, because this is something she always wanted to do. So you give the role to somebody that always has never wanted to do this kind of thing, and the portrayal of that character doesn't come off as somebody who is really the impression that you want to get from this character. But when you see somebody like Clarke who has so much dedication and so much perseverance being brought forth for a character, I think a greater appreciation is shown. Not only by her, but also by the fans, because the fans respond to that. The fans see how this character doesn't care about what anybody thinks of them, shies away from the criticism. It's really cool. I remember when Clarke got the call that she's going to be Red in the Descendants franchise. She had been casted, and she was like, damn, this is happening for me. She couldn't believe it. And I really wish at that time more people would have been supportive of Clarke, because I think that everybody goes back to the original cast and forgets about how the times change. We too have to change with the times. I mean, we couldn't always rely on Hannah Montana and Selena Gomez and Wizards of Waverly Place to be around for forever. Because years ago, I really wish the shows like Wizards and Hannah Montana could have lasted for forever. There were certain moments being a fan of Disney Channel and growing up watching Disney Channel that I really wish I could have frozen time and could have just stopped time because seeing Miley Cyrus, being this character on Hannah Montana, living the double life of a high school teenager and a superstar at night, was a beautiful concept. And then Wizards moving into, operating a sandwich shop at a New York City, it was kind of really, really cool. And these were kind of moments that I wish I could have stopped and frozen hourglass and really could have lasted forever. I think one of the most difficult things for me to understand and come to terms with were these franchises had to say goodbye. And I'm still having great difficulty, realizing that one day we probably will have to say goodbye to Descendants. But the more that I think about it, do these franchises really have to end? Do the critics really have to get what they want? Or can we just keep on having fun with this for just a little while longer? Because I've had so much fun talking about Descendants and Zombies for everybody. I've had so much fun being a part of these franchises and witnessing the story come to life. Now, if people like Clarke and Ruby Rose Turner weren't a part of this, then I would question it, because I think that these characters have really offered us so much inspiration. They put the thought in our minds that a dream can really happen for me. And I think more people are waking up every day now saying to themselves, a dream can really happen for me. I've just got to kind of really believe in myself a little bit more. Maybe I should take Red's advice. Maybe I should start believing in myself more because of Chloe Charming and what she offered. Because I will tell you right now, I was the biggest fan of Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland characters ever. I think they're beautiful characters. I think Alice's curiosity sometimes may have gotten the better of her, but she inspired me to want to jump down a rabbit hole and discover the mystery behind it that had been locked for years. I think Descendants and Zombies offered us the opportunity to experience these fairy tales in a whole new way, and you guys have had me on a journey for forever. Many years ago, I had a girlfriend, and she had a daughter who loved Descendants, and she could never understand the concept of why her daughter loved Descendants until one day I sat down and I watched it with her and I said, these characters give life to this franchise, and she's inspired of these characters because of the message that they convey. And she couldn't understand what I was thinking because I was the one that was conveniently ending up watching Descendants with her all the time. The thing was, for somebody to really understand Descendants and Zombies, you really got to have a greater appreciation of what the story means. And I think it goes way beyond the music. It goes way beyond the message of Descendants. I think what the true message of Descendants is how much you believe in the franchise and how much it gives somebody hope. Because I think this goes way beyond a musical. This goes way beyond a story between two people who are in love for forever. It just really puts into perspective, how valuable and how precious time is, how important friends are to have in this lifetime. Because my mom was right years ago when she looked at me and said, if you have no friends, you really don't have a purpose in life. And I think that friends give us that encouragement that everything can happen for us and that everything is going to be okay. Because you think about Ruby Rose Turner's character, Bridget. She had one friend in that franchise. It was Ella, before she met Red and Chloe and became friends with them. She had one friend, one really good friend, and she knew that that one really good friend is all she ever needed. And it makes perfect sense what my mom said after being a school teacher for over 30 years and giving her life to the teaching system. If you have no friends, you really have no purpose. But the thing is, you don't need a whole lot of friends. You just need 3 or 4 really good ones that you can count on that will forever and always be there for you. And that's what Bridget, Red, and Chloe were. And that's what they represented in the Descendants franchise. And I think people who don't understand the message behind Descendants are lost. And I think that they're just critics, like everybody else. Because, as it's been said many times over the years, everybody's a critic. But I, for one, have loved Descendants of Zombies, and I could watch this over 100 times, if not 1,000. I've probably done it already, because every single night I think I'll watch Descendants, to be honest with you guys. I'm a sucker for romance movies, I'm a sucker for musicals, so it was pretty apparent that I was going to fall in love with Descendants when girls were showing up at my door dressed as their favorite Descendants characters every year on Halloween saying, "Guess who I am?" And they would turn to the side, and I wouldn't have an answer, and then they would tell me, kind of thing. I love this, guys. I think this passion is amazing. I think that if we're going to say things about Descendants of Zombies, we should say nothing but the best, and I think we should give people reviews that they can be proud to watch, and be excited about things like the Worlds Collide Tour, and a chance, even the slightest chance, of Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour happening. I really do believe that. And that's why I can sit here every day and I can record up to an hour and 25 minutes of commentaries every single day and have no issues with it, because I see the greater purpose with Descendants of Zombies being fulfilled. Even if it takes us 15 years from now to get up until 2035 to see the greater purpose of Descendants being fulfilled and some of your favorite stars going down in history for being some of the greatest of all time. My issue with all of this is the criticism they have faced as stars that they don't deserve, and I want them to go down in history for being the greatest of all time, because that's always and forever what I wanted to go down in history for having been. I know I may be a long way away from going down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, but I think that if we're going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies, then we should talk about Descendants of Zombies for its true value and its true worth, because there's a lot that goes with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Perhaps your passion lies with collecting the 10th anniversary dolls, which are beautiful, or the Halloween costumes, or just basic Descendants of Zombies merch. Probably your room is full of Descendants dolls and Zombies merch. I've seen the dolls, I'm captivated by it. I'm really captivated by all the merch, and it's beyond me why a critic can sit in front of their microphone, how they can sit in front of their microphone and criticize the merch and the quality of it without even knowing anything about it. As far as I'm concerned, they're recording a reaction video for the first time ever because they've never watched Descendants of Zombies. Let me tell you guys something. I had the most fun in my lifetime this summer watching Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires. It was the greatest honor of my life having the chance to review Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, because I thought it was the most powerful script for a Zombies franchise. I thought the music made perfect sense. I thought the story was beautiful. I thought the introduction of these new characters, Victor and Nova, was fabulously done. And if there were two people to feel confident in the future of, and because of, it would be Victor and Nova, Malachi Burton and Freya Sky. I think that they are going to do a fabulous job after having the torch passed to them. It's just about how much you believe in it yourself. Because what it comes down to is the support from fans. And as far as I'm concerned, Descendants of Zombies is the most supportive niche in the world. They know who and what they love. And if you get between them, then you're pretty much going to suffer the consequences. So you've really got to show up and be on point with your commentaries, because Descendants of Zombies fans know everything there is to know about the franchises. So I think, if anything, you guys deserve far more respect than you're ever given, because you guys are some of the most smartest fans ever to love a franchise for who and what you love. And I think everybody has their own reason for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Some of you love it because of the music. Some of you love it because of the story. I think for me it was everything. I think first it was the story, and then by Descendants 2 the music got better. Of course, Show 'Em Like a Villain, Ways to Be Wicked, beautiful song. Space Between was the first official duet between Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron that we saw. And I think after that we saw a lot of rumors, and I think we've been hearing a lot of rumors about Malia Baker and Kylie Control too. For sure we've heard a lot of rumors about Kylie Control and Malia Baker's friendship and how close they are with each other. But I think a lot of people have to understand that a friendship between a girl and another girl is very different from a relationship between two guys, because girls understand each other better, and I think that's why these friendships have been so beautifully represented. And I think that if there were four people that could have represented a friendship so powerfully, it would have to be Kylie Control and Malia Baker's friendship, and ever before that, Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. I think that it became very apparent to us when the duet Space Between was dropped as part of the Descendants soundtrack. But I think that was the reason why they themselves fell in love with the song and what it represented and what the true meaning behind it was, because it conveyed such a positive message. And it gave us a reason to believe in something for the first time ever. And I think ever since Descendants 2, with the music getting better, I think we were offered, so much inspiration. And we were never more proud to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies and of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. Because Dove Cameron was somebody who came from out of nowhere, which is why I'm incredibly proud of Dove Cameron and everything she's accomplished. She was somebody who came from out of nowhere and achieved superstardom. She, as far as I'm concerned, became the most popular Disney star of all time. Now, while it will be argued that Miley Cyrus will forever and always be the greatest of all time when it comes to a Disney Channel star, or Sabrina Carpenter can end up in that conversation 100 times over, I think that someone like Kylie Control and Dove Cameron, beautiful, beautiful people because of their personalities. And if there was one Disney Channel star that I could be a fan of all over again, it would definitely have to be Dove Cameron or Kylie Control, because I never saw a girl touch hearts in the way that Dove Cameron did, and the same kind of logic applies to Kylie Control. Because I saw at the Worlds Collide Tour how appreciative Kylie Control was of the moment she was a part of. Every single moment she had a chance of being a part of, she took full advantage of. And she's been a fan of it for forever. So if she's been a fan of it for forever, why are people choosing to criticize her? It's beyond me how people can get away with that. I think that if we're going to talk about Kylie Control, then we should talk about Kylie Control, and we should give her a reason to feel more proud of her accomplishments than ever before. We shouldn't resort to criticism, because that's what a critic does. They resort to criticism because they want to get reactions from people. And if they get reactions from people because of how they feel about Descendants and Zombies, then their mission's been fulfilled. But in my opinion, if we're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, then we're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies because there's a fan of Descendants and Zombies watching this show. So because there is a fan of Descendants and Zombies watching this show, then you've really got to show up and you've really got to be on point. You've got to present a case and a point for everything you believe in, everything you say, because I think that Descendants and Zombies is a story that is far from over, that can keep on going from chapter to chapter without people becoming frustrated of how many chapters we see. Because I do read in comments and discussion forums people saying they need to stop making Descendants and Zombies movies. They really don't. Because if a child believes that Descendants and Zombies is going to continue on for the foreseeable future, then so too do they have the right to believe that for the foreseeable future Descendants and Zombies is going to continue on. And that's what I'm here to encourage. I'm here to encourage the hopes and the dreams of everybody becoming a reality, no matter how long it takes you to achieve it, regardless of what that dream is. And that's something I've never ever wanted anybody to forget. And if you would like to come along with me on this incredible journey that I feel like I've been on for forever, then you are more than welcome to hit my subscribe button, because I would be forever appreciative of every single person who ever hit my subscribe button. People are subscribing to this YouTube channel every single day, and to be honest with each and every one of you, I have never felt more appreciative of the moments that I've been a part of, and I'm just excited to be a part of every moment that has yet to come, and for me to be a part of as your voice of Descendants and Zombies on the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast on YouTube. It's only after 10:40 a.m. this morning, just before 11 a.m., and I've already uploaded 2 podcasts about Descendants and Zombies. That's how dedicated I am to this YouTube channel, and how much this YouTube channel has forever and always held a very special place in my heart. Guys, from my heart to yours, seriously, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to represent Descendants and Zombies and to show up on this YouTube channel to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, because I can assure you that this has been the most fun that I have ever had in my entire life. If I could go back and fall in love with the franchise all over again just because of how incredibly supportive each and every one of you are of your favorite stars and your favorite moments that made you fans of Descendants and Zombies, it would have to be this one, hands down, because I have never received this much incredible love and support from a niche, from a franchise such as Descendants and Zombies. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you will continue to support this YouTube channel for the foreseeable future, because life is that much sweeter when all of us show that much more kindness to people in our lives who really deserve that little bit of extra kindness to be shown to them when we least expect it. It's truly amazing how much of a difference kindness can really have on a person's heart and how much it can touch a person's heart. Guys, seriously, thank you so much for helping make this YouTube channel into the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast and having made me your voice of Descendants and Zombies. It has been an honor. I will return later on this afternoon with a third podcast for you guys, which I hope you will join me for, because life is that much sweeter when all of us are. Stay calm and zombie on, everybody, into the foreseeable future, because we still have a long way to go with these two respective stories and these two respective franchises that have changed our lives for the better. And we still have a long way to go, which makes it really exciting to be a fan of both Descendants and Zombies. Guys, thank you so much from my heart to yours. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies in just a few hours from now.